everybody, welcome back to Mel's Board Game Room, and today I'm doing my top 9 game of all the games that I've played during the month of March. I am a month behind. We're May now, so after this I'll be preparing April, but it felt wrong to skip a month because I didn't get around to it. It's been a really busy couple months here. So let's get started. And before we'll start with that, we'll look at the stats. So in the month of March, all right, let's go here. All right, so in the month of March, I have played 95 plays of 55 different games. 3% were my base collection got played. Out of those, 25 games were new to me, so it was a really good month. Let me scoot over a little bit. This was also the month that I went to the Rocky Mountain retreat. So we played lots and lots of games there. It's a 4-day retreat. So that was perfect for that. And now let's have a look at which one made my top 9. So in number 9 position, I have Dimension. This is a little bit of an older game. I had seen it before. I was curious about it. Somebody had brought it at the retreat and they say, "Oh, do you want to play?" I was like, "Yes, I really, really do." And I really like this. So I don't own this game yet. It is on my wish list. I am looking for a copy. So with this one though, this is a puzzle kind of brain burner type game. You have all of these balls, like you got, I think it's 4 of each color. And then you have these rules. So it'll be like, hey, you need to have 4, and there's like the one in the picture here. So it's like 4 green, so 4 per, can't tell my colors, 4 orange and blue. So in any combination, but you can't have more, we can't have less, or you don't score that particular rule. And then the next rule was green and blue or something like that can't touch, or they have to touch, or there's a bunch of different rules. And you randomly select some of those, and then you create this little pyramids with all these balls. Now, to follow the rules, if you can't do like the full pyramids, you stop when you can and be like, okay, I think I've got the rules. And then you go through each one and you score what you've got correct. And if you have everything correct and you're able to fulfill the full pyramid, then you get bonus points as well. Like I say, this is one of those games that I absolutely love. This is also one of those games that a lot of people I play with will absolutely hate. They don't like the brain burners. So if you like those puzzle type games, you're going to love this. If not, this might not be for you. But I'm really hoping to get a copy of this. Then in number 8 position, we have Duck and Cover. So I have been playing this one tons lately. First of all, plays 15-20 minutes. It's quick. It is so easy to get to the table. It'll play easily at 2, and it plays equally good at 7. So it's really a good one to play with any people, any group size, basically, as a filler game. Tons of fun. So I played this again at the Rocky Mountain retreat. After I came home, I found a copy because it was out of print. And I looked, and I ended up finding it in a store in Nova Scotia. And I'm like, the name is Wired Village, I want to say. I'll put the link below. But it was really, I was so happy to find it. And they had flat rate shipping, so it was perfect. So I had it delivered to me. And now I have my own copy of Duck and Cover. And this one, you have 12 cards. You shuffle. You create a 3x4 grid. And it'll just be the numbers 1 to 12 or somewhere on there. And then you have the pile that you flip over. And the number that is on there, you will move and cover, ideally, another card. And then, so if it's a 5, then I take the 5, maybe I cover the 9, right? And then if the 5 comes again, then I will take the 5 and the 9, and I'll hopefully cover another card. If then the 9 comes up, well, I've already covered the 9. So then I have to say quack. If everybody says quack, that card goes in the discard pile, like kind of or like a trash pile or whatever. And depending on the number of players, depending on how many cards gets in there, that could trigger the end of the game. Also, the other thing that triggers the end of the game is if a player manages to get all of their cards into a one single pile. Then if you do that, it triggers also the end of the game, which is great because if you do that, the little splat number in the bottom corner becomes negative and you want a low score. So that's great. Everybody else who didn't trigger the end of the game, or if the game got triggered by the game itself, all of those splat numbers now becomes positive and you got to tally all of them up. Such a fun game. Artwork is so adorable. I'm just so glad I have this one, and I'm so glad I found a copy. Then in number 7 position, I have Labyrinth Chronicles. So I had seen Labyrinth around, the original, and I was like, I really want to try this game someday. And it's been around a long time. Then I ended up buying a copy from my friend of Master Labyrinth, which has like a dragon on top in the middle. And I was like, oh my God. And we played it, and it was so good. And I want to say I played it last year, the year before. Like, it's a fairly recent play, and it was so good. I was so impressed. So when they announced that they were doing Labyrinth Chronicle that plays the original Labyrinth and Master Labyrinth and the new version of Labyrinth was coming out in Kickstarter, it was like instant back for me. Like, I was like, oh my God, I'm getting this. But then not only that, it delivered in 2 weeks. It was like an express Kickstarter or GameFound. I can't remember which one it was on. But that was so exciting because I much preferred the instant gratification of buying a game and you're bringing it home. 2 weeks, I can do. 3-4 years, less excited about that. So, but Master Labyrinth is amazing, and it has all these 3D components, and then you slide the whole thing. It looks amazing. The original plays like the original, and that's the one I had played with in this picture here. And it was so cool because you have some that are permanent, like the dark gray one, they don't move. The light gray will shift, and then it's like, okay, which one, like, and where can you place it? That kind of opens up the path for you so that you can go and collect these tokens that you need to collect. And it's such a neat game. Absolutely love it. I'm so glad I have my own copy, and that is Chronicle Labyrinth, or Labyrinth Chronicle. Then in number 6 position is the first game that we played when we got to the Rocky Mountain Retreat, and that was Droots of Adora. And this was really interesting. The person that brought it, he went on and on about it, about how amazing the game was, and he hadn't even played it yet. So we had the first play, and there's plenty going on. Keep in mind, I did horrible at this, but I had a lot of fun. So you have in the middle, like, you create the board, and depending on how the islands or the clusters, I think it's like forest, like you have these forests that comes together and there's path, and how that comes together, like, will create areas. And that matters because I was able to move anywhere within one area in one movement, instead of having to count each movement. So that was a neat ability that I had acquired. And then you're kind of collecting, but you also have like portals on the edge, and you're trying to link them because everywhere you go, you'll end up dropping. Is it a cube, a dice, something kind of shows that you've gone there. And then you're trying to create and link these portals. I ignore that. That was kind of a mistake. I think I linked 1 portal, maybe 2. Maybe just 1. But then there's also like an area control. And what's cool about it is if you go to an area and you assign the dice there, so the value of the dice is their kind of control you have there. Nobody can mess with your dice, like, you're there, but they can come and put a bigger dice, so it was a friendly area control. Like, you might lose control, but it's not they're messing with you. They're just kind of putting their own control there. And it's not like bumping you out and now you don't have the link anymore or anything like that. And it's not like they're blocking you either. So that was good. And it was really cool, like that whole portion. Then you have like on your player board, and what was neat about it is like you had these tokens. These tokens awards you kind of special abilities that you attach to the next board. And as you go up this track, you unlock a token, but then you got to decide, Do I want the top ability? Do I want the bottom ability? And be like, So there was some really difficult choices to be made there. And then there's like some sort of like things that you're collecting to kind of fill up. And I don't know if it's a shield or whatever, but you're trying to collect to fill that up. And if you fill like a cross, that gives you point, the side gives you point. If you fill the whole thing, that gives you point. Like there was a lot of things that gave you point. And I had come across a lot of things that allowed me to kind of get that without reaching them. So I had a lot of abilities I had unlocked without going up on the tracks. I didn't reach the points. I was reaping the reward though. And it made me a little bit lazy and I wasn't working towards that. So in the end, I did not get a lot of points. But the gameplay was really interesting and I quite enjoy that. And then in number 5 position is a game that I had recently purchased and I finally got it played, and that was Moon Colony Bloodbath. And this one was so interesting. It's kind of like a trick-taking game. Not trick-taking game, what am I trying to say? A deck-building game kind of at its core. Keep in mind, you are going on the moon. We're colonizing it, and what can go wrong will go wrong, and everything will fall apart. It will. You're just trying to fall apart slower than the other players. I ended up triggering the end of the game by being the first player to die. Like all of my colonists died, but you can kind of acquire a building that has population. You start with a certain amount of population. You add the cars and you're doing different things. You got to feed your people. You got to do all sorts of stuff. And then you're trying to grow your population, but as things starts falling apart, and it does, and it will, and the deck is kind of designed, the game is designed that it keeps adding bad things that are gonna flip up. But you're trying to do so slower than the other players, and I was not successful at that. At first, I thought I was doing really good. And then it wasn't going so well, but you have these buildings and that's great. The buildings have population. So you have a lot of population. That means you can last longer, but then all of a sudden these things are happening and I have to give up the building. So I'm losing the people at the same time and it just fell apart, but it was so satisfying to play. And that's why Moon Colony Bloodbath is my number 5. Then in number 4 position is, oh my gosh, Salt Fjord. I honestly, if I had thought that I would have had to pronounce this title, I should have. No, I don't mean it. It deserved to be on the list. It's a neat, fun game. One other thing that this does that I absolutely love in game is like the actions that you can do is like by dice selection. So you have the different colored dice. There's the different numbers that they're assigned, and you're going to draft the dice and activate the dice and do the action. Now you have the board that you're building, and then you're going to place it like the white ones go along one way. The red ones or orange ones are going to go along the top. And then you kind of go and say, okay, well, I'm activating this. And then you kind of the number that it is, and then you go down the path. And where it lands, and you activate everything that is along that path. The last action is covered by the dice. So the actions that are covered by the dice cannot be activated crosswise, so then it'd be like, okay, well, I want to activate this, but that's already been covered. So you would skip that one, but you can activate the other one in that row. And you're going to be doing different actions. Here's the resource that you have that you can upgrade into better resource, and you're going to be spending these resources to acquire these tiles that you're going to add to the board so that you have more actions on your board. You can also go fishing, and you kind of keep sending your boat until you decide you want to bring your boat back. But depending on how far you went down that river path, the more point it's going to be worth when you bring it back. And then, of course, the more things you've collected. So you have your ship that you can send down that way. And then you have a lot of different technology tracks, that different technology that you can kind of go up. In the end, I had got all of the technologies. It was just a really neat, satisfying, multiple things you can do, but the whole dice selection and kind of adding actions to your board and activating them was so satisfying, and I quite enjoy this game. Then in number 3 position, I have Clans of Caledonia. Clans of Caledonia was so neat, so fun. So you have the board and you have everything on there. Remind me a little bit of Terra Mystica, because you're removing things from the board as you're putting it onto, you're building things onto the map. And then as things are on the board, it increases your income. And you're trying to kind of position yourself so that you have, all this thing on the map that you build. You have all these resources, because there is a stock element to this as well, like that you collect. Then you can upgrade the resource. You can spend the resource to kind of build different things. And it was so, so neat. One drawback with this game, I would say, is the first one to finish and say, okay, I'm done, that's all I wanted to do, is going to be the first player. Then the second to do that will be the second player. And we kept almost messing up the play order, because it's so easy to go around and around. And it was like, oh, wait. And then I would take my actions like, wait, it's not your turn. Oh, no. So undo my action. And then they do their turn and I do my action. Then the next person do their action. Oh, wait, it's not your turn. It's like, it was, the turn order that way was confusing. It makes sense, though, because there's a lot of benefit to going first, because the market's fresh. You can kind of secure what you want on the map. It makes sense. But it was a little bit confusing to keep track of the turn order for some reason in this game. But otherwise, great components, amazing. I absolutely loved it. Then in number 2 position is a game that I had not played in a while, and I keep talking about it because I know I really enjoy it. And we finally got to play it, and it was as good as I remembered, and that is Heaven and Ale. And in Heaven and Ale, we are making ale, I guess. So we're like monks kind of are creating a brewery. It's really interesting, though. Like, you will have the main board, and there's like this big rondel, and you go as far forward as you want, but you can't go backwards. So you're going to go and try to collect the different things or activate the different actions that you want to do. So the thing is going to be the ingredient tiles that you need. And there's 5 different ingredients, and I really don't remember the name of them all, but like there's water, there's the grain, it looks like rice, but it's not rice. Like, and that's why I was like, I shouldn't have gone there, because I can't remember, and I'm going to butcher it. And then I really did. But you have those. And then once you get them, depending on the value, that's the cost. And as well as depending on if you put on the dark side, it's going to be the cost. But if you put it on the lighter side of your board, then it's going to be double the cost. Now, and it doesn't really do anything when you put them down, but when you surround an entire village, then you get to activate that particular village. Depending on the total value of all of the tiles you've put around, is going to decide how that activates. So lower value, you'll activate 1 or 2 of the tiles. However, you get to move your monk forward on the list. But then if you have a higher number, you can activate more of your tiles, which is going to move forward the ingredient on your board. And it's really important that you do that, because they all start at different level. But at the end of the game, depending on how far you've got your monk, it's going to determine what your trading power is going to be, whether it's 4 for 1, 3 for 1, 2 for 1, or whatever. Then you can trade your highest ingredient. Let's say it's 3 for 1. For every 3 space it goes back, you can move 1 up, because the score that you have is your lowest ingredient multiplied by your highest ingredient. So you're gonna try to make them as tight and high as possible so that you can get a higher score. Really, really neat. Now, of course, there's like a bunch of other things that happens. You have monks that you can put on the board, and they'll activate things differently. It's such a neat game. It's very strategic, and I really, really enjoy my play of it. And that's why it's in number 2 position. Then in number 1 position for the month of March is Beyond the Horizon. Now, I had originally played Beyond the Sun for the first time just a little while ago, which, by the way, is on sale. Is it Board Game Bliss that has it on sale? Like, at a ridiculous amount. And I paid a ridiculous amount for this one. So I was like, oh man, totally worth checking it out. So if you can, get Beyond the Sun because it was so amazing. Beyond the Horizon, really equally amazing. The game, honestly, the gameplay is almost identical, except Beyond the Sun was more like space themed. This one is more civilization themed. I will say this one is a little bit more fidgety because you have these little tokens that you're playing, and then you put these you have these little wooden bits that you're playing with, but you put these little wooden token or cardboard tokens on top to keep track of their values, and then you flip it over, and those tend to get knocked out all the time. While Beyond the Sun has dice, that's easier to kind of just shift of where it is. Regardless of that, this game was really amazing. I do enjoy the civilization theme quite a bit. You have the map that you're going to be building and adding things, and then you have the different location that you're going to try to kind of settle, and then you're going to try to get these other things. It's not like you got the tiles that you're going to settle on and kind of add villages, but then you have these other thing, which is like technologies or something, I forget what the term is, that you can kind of create, but then you need another player to come and complete it in order to score the tile, but you do get the benefit for doing it anyways. And then they get a benefit for doing it as well. So it's kind of worthwhile for them to come and complete your tile because you can't do that to your own tiles. But you have like the ones that you can send on the board that'll be settles, or you can have like armies that you set on the board, but then you also have the technology track where you're going to go down and learn all these new technologies, and it kind of creates a grid. So you learn this one, and that's great, and then you learn the one next to it, and that's great. Now because you've learned these two and they connect both to this one, so now you can go and learn this one. You can't do it without first learning both technology because they merge here, and there's different level of that, and it was super neat. I really liked it. In fact, I played it twice on the same day. Learned it, played it, loved it, and then like a couple hours later, taught it to another group of people, played it again, loved it again, right? Like it's just really good. I really enjoy it. It's a longer game. It's a little bit heavier, so the teach or the learn is going to be a minute, but completely worth it. So I highly recommend this one. Beyond the Horizon or Beyond the Sun, as I say, you probably don't need both because they are very similar. It's basically the same game. You just pick the skin that you prefer. So that was my top 9 for the month of March. And here's a recap of all the games that made it onto my list. And again, 95 plays of 55 different games, 25 of them were new to me. And here's a list of all of the ones that got played for the full month of March. And that's it. That's all the games played. So be sure to follow me on Facebook at Mel's Board Game Room. I'm also on Instagram at Mel's_boardgame_room. I also do a podcast with my friend Carla called The Board Game Specialists, and my YouTube channel, Mel's Board Game Room. So thank you so much for tuning in. Bye, everybody.